Alright. Hello everybody. I will be doing an anime talk speedrun discussion with me, Pancake. I'm gonna quick cover stuff I'm not doing on this, which is continuing series, like, still watching Eden Zero, Fairy Tail clone. I don't particularly think it's that good, but continuing with that. Let's see. Continuing with the second season of Mashimeta Aruma-kun. I think that's very good. Everyone should check that out. I'm still continuing with One Piece, still in Wano arc. Not fully up to date on it yet, but gonna get there to the beast suits. And Tokyo Revengers, which I'm really liking. That is going good. Definitely check that out. If you like time travel, gang war. Anyways, how this is going to go is I'm going to try to explain the premise of all the shows and then quickly what my thoughts on all of them are. So right now, just Dead Rising mall music. let's start getting stuff going here. All right. So I'm gonna basically be doing the description of all of the airing stuff from summer 2021, and then my thoughts on them or whatnot. I will not be covering continuing series such as Eden Zero, Urumakun second season, One Piece, Tokyo Revengers, but I'm going to be doing 15 of summer 2021's series that I am watching and keeping up with for the most part. There is a few of them I do drop, but I will get into that. Anyways, I think it's time to kick it off. No point in waiting any longer. So, starting off, Bokutachi no Remake. This is essentially another version of Real Life, at least in my eyes. A 28-year-old game developer going with a bankrupt company loses his job or whatever, and then basically he gets transported back to when he's uh like back when he was living with his folks and his younger sister, like right when he entered college. And this time he's gonna essentially do it right. Where the difference from real life is that's high school life to make a better life. This is he's in college and he's already with one of his favorite artists, Shino Aki, the blue hair girl. And so far, in my opinion, the show is a little boring, I'd say, but I'm still gonna follow it. I do think real life is the superior option for something like this, where the main character goes back in time to fix his life, kind of. I can't say for sure that's going to happen here, but I highly expect it to. Just from how it goes. Alright. Moving on. We got Battle Game in 5 seconds. This is I want to just straight off say it is basically kind of a shit show, but uh, it's a battle royale-esque anime where Akira loves video games and gets dragged into a battlefield with mysterious girl, the cat girl with purple hair who calls herself Mion. And I guess they just erased their entire existence at random in the real world for this world, where they all get abilities, and no, the main character's ability is basically mind games, where his power is essentially whatever his opponent thinks it is, which ultimately can be one of the most overpowered abilities, at the same time a garbage ability if people know it. And the main female in this, Yuri, basically she just has all her physical attributes increased. I It's just another battle royale anime. I don't really see it as that good, and I give it my meh stamp. So yeah, that's that one. Moving on. Uh, the Itaten deities know only peace. This is a very colorful show. Has lots of different palette swaps throughout the entirety of one episode. Essentially 800 years since the Itaten, which are basically battle gods, have fought because they sealed away the demons. And now there's only like a handful of Itaten, and they can kind of just come into existence if people have like a desire for savior, I believe is the case for that. But essentially, our main characters are Rin, who's the one that was from 800 years ago that saw them seal it, and she's kind of just perfected her skills and is basically unbeatable. Then you got Haido, who's just like a hard head, wants to get stronger guy. Easily, the smart guy who kind of shady behind the backs of the Itaten, but he is an Itaten, so I don't know if he's going to betray him or not based on the 3 episodes I've seen. And then Paula, who's just kind of like, whatever. And then you got like the main villains, which are basically like Nazis, because they destroy all of civilization that they can, kind of, while also building up a human army, because there's not that many demons. It's an interesting show. It's got some themes in it that are like pretty extreme, so keep that in mind because there is rape in it. But I do give it my approval stamp, so go check that one out. Uh, moving on, Kanojo Mo Kanojo, or Girlfriend Girlfriend. This is essentially a harem series. Let me see if it. Yeah, it's got the harem art. Yeah, I've seen 4 episodes of this so far, and I was kind of hoping it would just stick to the two uh, main girls, which were Nagisa and Saki. But yeah, you don't get that lucky in this. Essentially, the main character is in a relationship with the pinkish red-haired girl Saki, and then Nagisa, the bluer hair girl, shows up and just is in love with the MC, and he can't choose between them, so he has a three-way. Uh, comedy aspects of this are pretty okay. Of course, now with the latest episode, he has another girl in the relationship named Rika, so uh, it's just becoming more of the generic harem route, which I should have expected, but that's what to expect from it. That's all it really is, and romance, comedy, whatnot. Uh, keep going. Kobayashi, Dragon Maid, second season. Very big fan of the first season of this show. Uh, Essentially, Toru is a dragon that comes to the human world and basically falls in love with Kobayashi, a human, and more dragons start showing up and interacting with people. And this season introduces Iruru, who is basically kind of like a baby dragon in the sense, but uh, her bust does not say so. It's essentially fire bags, but yeah. So another season of this show, always welcome. It's pretty enjoyable. I I definitely give it my approval stamp. Definitely watch the first season if you haven't already. Not much more I need to say on that. Okay, let's see. The new Love Live Superstar. Uh, I only recently became interested in Love Live, but essentially it's the same premise as the first Love Live. They want to become school idols pretty bad. This one I don't believe is to save their school. It's more just an hobby interest. from the first season, but essentially Canon Kiki here, the two in the background right now, they are the main characters, but this one is going to only have 5 main characters compared to the normal 9. I've only seen one episode of this, but it was pretty decent if you like idol stuff, so there's that. I'm just gonna keep going. Uh, Mother of the Goddess Dormitory. This is essentially just hentai without sex. So, yeah. It's just a lewd show. It's basically Sonohara, but what if lewd? Basically. Um, the main girl does have the opposite thing, Atina, where she gets the nosebleed rather than the main male MC. But other than that, it's just pretty garbage. I skip this. Don't even bother. I dropped this. I gave it a couple episodes to try something different, but nah, just skip that. Not worth watching. Um, Black Company, the Dungeon of Black Company. Uh, Essentially, neat character Kinji who works any work ethic, just has like a perfect life in modern world or whatever. But then he gets isekai'd, and now he's like the grunt of some evil company thing, mining company in a fantasy world, and he makes friends with a lizard-like guy, wannabe, and ends up also friends with a dragon named Rimu. And essentially, he just starts. It's kind of like Ed, Edd n Eddy, where he kind of just comes up with the schemes to making the mining company better, like quick get rich scam stuff. And slowly but surely, he keeps adding more people to his team of just trying to get money out of this company so he doesn't have to work. He even gets an ant queen to just be a part of his team. And there's that. So, uh, so far I'd say it's good. I don't know how much like more they can really do with it, but I've been enjoying it. It does have a lot of isekai tropes in it, but it's pretty enjoyable. Uh, Keep going. Otome Game, second season. More of Otome Game. This from the first season is basically uh, Katarina here is a reincarnate from another world where this is actually just a video game, and she's the villainess, and all her paths in the game lead to a bad end. In the first season, she basically plays out the entirety of the game. So in this season, she doesn't really necessarily know what's going to happen next, as now she doesn't really know if her routes are going to the end, but they add in more characters and more relations, I'd say, to the mix. And that's about it for what's new so far in the 4 episodes I've seen. One of the newer characters is pretty good. I'd definitely check it out. Um, all right, next up is Peach Boy Riverside. And right before I get into that, I need to quick take care of something. Okay, waste a minute there. Have dogs to attend to. Ahem. Anyways, Peach Boy Riverside is a fantasy show where it's basically Oni versus humans in a sense. But there's some humans that are Peach Boys, which is essentially taking the Momotaro story and throwing those peaches into the river. And these people have powers that are like insane. uh, but this show airs out of order for whatever reason, making it insanely hard to follow. But I feel like even with it in order, you probably still wouldn't get it. Uh, the fight scenes have like no action in them, so you're not really getting action out of it. And everything changes on the fly in this show, so it's not like there's much to grasp on this. I would say probably pass this unless the character designs interest you. I would definitely skip this show. Anyways, gotta keep moving. Remake is a sports anime water polo. Essentially, the main character, Minato, gets in an accident and has like amnesia. So we're starting on a blank slate to insert ourselves into type deal here. And he doesn't want to go back to water polo, but of course, all of the students know he's like some really good water polo player and gaslight him into joining back. Also, he's in a relationship with some girl or something. I don't know. I'm not really following this. I don't really care for water polo, sad to say, so I am dropping this, but if you do like sports anime and you do like water polo, then definitely check this out. Otherwise, oh well, moving on. Uh, Sunny Boy. Very, very nice slides here where it shows you the one behind it. But this this is a interesting show, and it's like a essentially a school gets taken into like another dimension where there's nothing but like black nothingness around them, and it contains 36 boys and girls in it, and they all end up with supernatural abilities. I originally thought this was going to end up like a battle royale, but they are trying to work together for the most part. Uh, the main character, I believe, is Nozomi, and her ability is supposed to be seeing like the light in a situation or something. At least that's what I've gathered from the episodes I've seen so far, since there's only 2 out at the moment. But at the end of the first episode, they end up on an island where everything has to be equivalently exchanged or it just lights on fire. I don't really know what to say to the show. It's more a mystery of what's happening going on. But essentially every character has a very unique ability. I wouldn't say it's like a quite as generic, but I'd say check this show out just on the fact that it's weird. I approve on this. Check got that Madhouse studio, so I expect good things. Keep going. Aquatope. This is a slice of life show of 2 girls working at a aquarium that may shut down. I want it to be a Yuri because the way they look at each other, you see in the background there. Uh, I think it is. I'm not sure, but some weird things happen at this aquarium because of like some mythical creature or something. Where a lot of the times people are just like feel like they're swimming in the aquarium or something. I not fully grasping that yet on the few episodes I've seen. The main pull for this is the Yuri connection between Cuckoo and Fuka, but I'm hoping more happens with that, as Aquarium Life work style isn't really my interest, but we'll see. Moving on. Ah, yes. The detective is already dead. Right off the bat, the show starts off with Siesta and Kimihiko on a plane, and you slowly see this like Sherlock and Holmes relationship between the two, as there's just this over the top animation of them fighting a guy with a ear parasite thing or whatnot. But of course, all of that doesn't matter because she's dead the next episode, as the title implies. And I don't know if this is for every character, but he meets up with another girl who has essentially Siesta's heart, Nagisa. And with that in mind, I'm thinking that all the other girls he's going to meet are going to have some special connection where that applies to or whatnot. Not fully sure on that, as I also dropped this show. It seems more like a waifu bait with a generic MC that's as plain as can be. Sorry if you like that one. I don't care for it. Moving on. Second season of Slime. Um, more Slime. Well, second season part 2 of Slime. I don't have much to say on this, as I not fully caught up on it yet, but essentially they have the dragon that's been in Rimuru come out and actually be a character now. After the joke of a war they had last part. Veladora is his name, yeah. Same old Slime. If you like this show, you're going to continue to like it. If you don't like it, you're not going to continue not to like it, as nothing is really going to change. But I guess other than Shion's cooking, that changes. And I do like the Storm Dragon character. He is pretty cool. Alright, Suki Michi. That is the one that has the little gifts at the bottom there from the ending. This one kind of took me off guard. I didn't really expect to enjoy this show, as it's an isekai and it seemed generic, but it's got essentially a human getting transported to another world, but the goddess or whatever is a total bitch and prevents him from understanding, not understanding, prevents him from speaking the human language of the world, so he can really only communicate with different variants of monsters or whatever. But before he goes, Tsukiyome helps him out and basically gives him some OP power stuff, but he's still level 1 despite being overpowered, which doesn't really make any sense anyway. But he ends up fighting a dragon named Tomo, the one with like the greenish hair, and she is like a demon plane of existence or whatever, and everyone that they meet just ends up going into this like own separate dimension or something. And then he meets a spider in said dimension named Mio, and those are like the two main girls with him. But he's still like desperate to like meet up with humans despite humans seeing him as like some destructive demon lord thing. I don't know. It's actually been kind of fun, so I'm gonna keep going with it. And I also definitely check it out. Give it a little approval stamp on there. I think the characters are cute. Moving on, Uramichi Onisan. This is essentially a 31-year-old guy who's super buff, gymnastics coach, and he runs a children TV show. Well, he doesn't run it. He's the main character in it. And him along with Ikateru and Utano are like the main three, and then he's got two mascot characters that he often beats up on one of them because they're a jerk. But it's a pretty fun show. It's got a lot of like adult life humor to it in the sense of like don't you don't want it makes it like you don't want to grow up kind of deal with it. uh, Not exactly my type of humor, but I do find it a pretty enjoyable show. So check that out if you like kind of like the doomer humor. Moving on to our final one, Venitus. I can't ever say it. The case study of Venitus. God. All right. So essentially, this is vampires, just straight up vampires, and Venitus has like some book, and he's kind of just like a traveling guy with a book that gives him power or whatnot. So let me double check that. He's more of a doctor who just specializes on vampires. But the show ends up getting much more lewd than I expected, and it's actually pretty enjoyable for what it was. I thought this was going to be a bait show, but nah, they seems like the characters just get relationships and stuff starts going. Uh, the action's pretty interesting as well. So if you like vampires even a little bit, definitely check this one out. This is kind of gonna be my favorite of the anime season. I'm not fully sure on that yet, because things change quickly. Like Wonder Egg from last couple seasons ago, that changed quickly. But that'll sum it up, and that will be the anime speed run of 26 minutes 47 seconds. Very good. Got through stuff as quick as possible while trying to explain it, whatnot. Let's see. Yeah, Real Life left some pretty big shoes to fill, so it's hard to beat that. And Tsukimichi, yes, I thoroughly enjoyed Tsukimichi. So, yes, thank you for watching. This was nerve-wracking as hell. Alright, I'm